that you are enjoying your lessons. Welcome to the fourth lesson of this course. Now, this is a continuation of the forces. We're going to look at moment of a force. Moment of a force. Moment of a force. Now, what is moment of a force? We are saying that the tendency of a body to rotate about a fixed point when a force is applied and the force is not on the line of action of the force is called moment of a force, or simply moment of torque. The tendency of a force to cause a body to rotate about a fixed point is moment. You know, a force can cause a body to translate, to move. One of the effects of a force on a body is that it can also cause a body to rotate about what? A fixed point. Your door, when you open your door, you see there's a hinge, so it causes it to what? Rotate. Okay, that is what? Rotation. It's rotating about what? The fixed point, and the fixed point is where the hinge is. That is moment. Now, moment can also be defined as the product of an applied force F and perpendicular distance D. Moment can also be defined as the product of an applied force F and perpendicular distance D. That is, magnitude of moment M is equal to what? F times D. F times D, where F is the applied force and D is the perpendicular distance. The unit of moment is Newton meter. That is in the SI unit. So in the illustration of moment for the A, considering a wrench used to unscrew a bolt, if a force F is applied to the handle of the wrench, it will tend to turn the bolt about point O or along the Z axis, along this Z axis. The magnitude of the moment M is directly proportional to the applied force and the perpendicular distance or moment arm D. In the second illustration, the B, if the force F is applied at an angle theta is less than 90 or theta is not equal to 90, it will be difficult to turn the bolt since the moment arm D prime is equal to D sine theta will be smaller than D. Now for the C, if the force applied F along the wrench, its moment arm will be 0 since the line of action of the force will intersect the point O, the Z axis. Therefore, the magnitude of the moment will be 0 and there will be no turning effect. So we said that moment is the tendency of a force to cause a body to rotate about a fixed point. So the body will definitely rotate. Now, assigning a sign to the moment is very important. Okay, assigning a sign to the moment is very important. Which direction is the body rotating in? Is the body rotating this way or is the body rotating that way? So you need to assign the sign for the moment. Moment direction may be accounted by using a stator sign. So somebody may say that, okay, whenever the force is causing the body to move in this direction, it's positive. It means that when the body moves opposite to this direction, it becomes what? Negative. Another person B can also say, okay, when I'm moving, when the force causes the body to rotate in this direction, let it be negative. It means that when the body rotates opposite to this direction, it will be what? Positive. For clockwise, assign a positive and counterclockwise assign minus or vice versa. So it's very important to account for the signs. Resultant moment of a system of forces. If a body is acted upon by a system of forces, the resultant moment of the forces about point O is a vector sum of the moment of each forces. The resultant moment can be written mathematically as, okay, that's what you have here. Mathematically, you have the resultant moment about point O, about this point O, is equal to sigma R cross F. Now what is R cross F? You know, scalarly, moment is equal to force times distance, but moment is derived vectorially. Now in the vectorial analysis of moment, let's say we have a force F moving in this direction, and this is a certain origin O. Now we find the position vector of the force R. Now let's assume this angle is theta, and this distance, perpendicular distance, becomes D, is D. Okay, we are saying that vectorially, moment is equal to R cross F, where R is a positional vector. Okay, R is a positional vector moving from the origin to meet the force. Okay, so R, the positional vector crossing the force. Okay, so this is R cross F. This is vectors cross product. So R crossing F will give us what? Moment. So it is through this formula we derive F moment is equal to what? Force times distance. Because we know that from the vector analysis, the cross product R cross F, note that it's R cross F, not F cross R, because from the cross product vectorially in vectors, cross product is not commutative. So R cross F is not the same as F cross R. R cross F is not the same as F cross R. Now we know that R cross F is equal to magnitude of R, magnitude of F sine theta. Now from this diagram, okay, if I want to find D, this perpendicular distance from the origin O, now look at this. Now this is the angle. Now this becomes opposite to the angle. So D will be equal to, this is the hypotenuse, the longest side R. So I have what? R sine theta. R sine theta. Now substituting R sine theta D into this equation, then I have what? This and this will give me D. So I have F times D, which is moment. So we derive F times D, force times perpendicular distance, from the vector definition of moment, which is R cross F. So vectorially, moment is R cross F. Our moment now is R cross F. We continue from the statement we want to establish. So that is, we have the resultant moment about point O will be equal to what? The R1 cross F1 plus R2 cross F2 plus R3 cross F3. So this is where you are dealing with vectors. Okay, you are dealing with vectors. Okay. We move on to example number 1. A. Determine the moment of the force at point O. We have to determine the moment of the force at point O. So from the diagram, you can see the 100 Newton force acting on this rod, and the distance from the line of action of the force to the origin O is 2 meters. Now in solving this, we know that moment is equal to force times distance. Now we have to define our direction. It has already been defined. Okay, so moment about point O, moment about point O, moment about point O. Now this direction is positive. Okay, this direction is positive, should be equal to what? Force times distance. Now this 100 Newton force, okay, so this is the force. What is the perpendicular distance from this point to O? Okay, that perpendicular distance is what? 2 meters. 2 meters. Now, have you seen the direction of the force? If this is to turn this, now this force will cause it to move this way. It will cause it to bend this way. The whole bar, it will cause it to bend this way. Okay, so this will be the direction of the force. The direction of it will be what? Positive, because it's in the same direction as the direction we have what? Assumed. Okay, so there we have, what is the force? 100 Newton times 2 meters, and we have 200 Newton meter. So that's the answer we have on the board. Example number 1B. Example 1B. Example 1B. This example, we are also to find the moment about point O. We are finding the moment about point O. You need to understand that moment scalarly is what? Force times perpendicular distance. Force times perpendicular distance. You cannot say that moment about point O is equal to 50 newtons times 2 meters. No, that is wrong. That is wrong, because the line of action of the force intersects with what? The origin O. So there cannot be any turning effect here. The moment will be equal to, so moment about point O, we are taking the moment about point O. Now we are assuming that this direction is what? Positive. This direction is positive. Then we have force times perpendicular distance. What is the force? The force is 50 Newton. Now what is our perpendicular distance? Perpendicular distance is equal to what? 0.75 meters. Now this force will have a turning effect on the body this way, which is what? Positive. So we have 37.5 Newton meter. Example 1C is an assignment. Example 1C is an assignment for you. Try it and find the moment about point O. What what is the moment of the 40 kilonewton force about point A? We know that moment is equal to what? Force times perpendicular distance. Force times perpendicular distance. So you need to find your force. Now we need to resolve this force into the rectangular component. So in resolving this, this will be 40 kilonewton sine 30, and we have 40 kilonewton cos 30. Cos 30. Now, what do we do with the component of the force? Now, with the Fx, with the x component of the force, the line of action of the force intersects with the origin. So this is the line of action of the force. It's intersecting with the origin at A. So you cannot find moment with what? The 40 kilonewton cos 30 force. No. There will be no moment. There will be no turning effect with respect to this force in what? The x. So we also consider the 40 kilonewton sine 30. So 40 sine 30 will give us 20 newton. So this force is moving upward. So I can bring the direction of the force this way. So this is what? 20 kilonewton. Now, the line of action of this force does not what? Intersect with what? The origin. It does not intersect with the origin, so we can find the moment. And this force will cause this bar to rotate this way. Okay? It will cause it to rotate this way. So if we make the statement that our moment about point A, okay, moment about point A, this direction is positive, then we are going to have force, moment is equal to force times distance. Then our force is 20 kilonewton. Our force is 20 kilonewton, and our distance to point A is what? 6 meters. So therefore our moment will be equal to negative 120 kilonewton. Why is it negative? It's negative because this force will cause the body to rotate about this point in this direction. In this direction. But we've also made that assumption that this direction is positive. Okay, so that means that it's moving opposite to this direction. The negative sign means that the moment about point A is what? Opposite to what? This direction. That's why the signs are very important in moment. This is an assignment. Try it. You send your answer to easylearningplatform@gmail.com for review and for assessment. In order to pull out the nail at B, the force F exerted on the handle of the hammer must produce a clockwise moment of 500 Newton meters about point A. Determine the required moment of the force. So we have to determine the required moment of the force. It's an assignment. Work it out and send your answers to easylearningplatform@gmail.com for review and assessment. Example 2. Determine the resultant moment of the 4 forces acting on the rod. So we have the 20 Newton force, 40 Newton force, 60 Newton force, and the 50 Newton force acting on the rod and we have to find the resultant moment. So we know that moment about point O, let me choose my direction. This direction is positive, equals to force times distance. Okay, so I know that my resultant moment about point O, okay, about point O, I know that all this direction is positive, will be equal to moment M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus M4. That means that the moment force times distance F1 times D1 plus F2 times D2 plus F3 times D3 plus F4 times D4. D is the perpendicular distance. So now I start from the 50 Newton force. Okay, so this is my F1, this is my F2, this is F3, and this is F4. So the 50 Newton force, perpendicular distance about point O. What will be the perpendicular distance to point O? Now perpendicular distance will be what? 2 meters. Perpendicular distance will be 2 meters. Now this force, assuming you have the rod this way and you have the force acting this way, okay? Now this force will cause it to rotate this way, okay? So you're going to have the direction this way, this force, moment to be this, positive direction. So we have 50 Newton times 2. Now the second force, F2, is 60 Newton. Now taking moment about point O, force times perpendicular distance. The line of action of the 60 Newton force intersect with what? The origin O, okay, or the fixed point at O. So perpendicular distance will be equal to what? 0. I cannot take moment will be equal to 0. So I know this one will go to 0, but let me write it times what? 0. 60 times 0. Then plus F3. F3 is a 20 Newton force. Now F3 is moving in this direction. Now I'm taking moment about point what? O. What will be the perpendicular distance? So now the line of action of this 20 Newton force is this way. Okay? So I can bring this force, principle of transmissibility. So all that I need to find is to find this distance. And that same distance will be the same as this. And I've been given the angle here to be 30 degrees. So I can find this distance. And I know the hypotenuse, which is the longest side, which is 3 meters. I know this side. So I can find this distance. So how do I find it? This is what? Opposite. That will be 3 sine 30 degrees. Okay? So this side will be 3 sine 30 degrees. 3 sine 30 degrees. Now we have to consider the direction. The direction, the moment, the direction of the moment. Now what is this force? Okay, if this force acts on this body, what do you think will be the effect of the force on this body? It will cause this body to rotate this way. Okay, to rotate this way, to try and move this way about this point. Okay, so this will move what? Opposite to what? To the initial direction. So we're going to have negative. So this will be what? Negative 20 Newton times 3 sine 30. Then we come to F4. F4, we want to find the perpendicular distance from F4 to what? The origin. Now what is? I want to find the perpendicular distance. So the perpendicular distance from F4 to the origin here is this distance. Now we know that this distance from this point O to this point is 4, because 2 meters plus 2 meters, that will give you 4. But we need to find the horizontal distance here. So we go back to the approach, to the Pythagoras approach we used to find the opposite side. So now we need to find the what? The adjacent. The adjacent. Now we said that the opposite is the opposite side. 3 sine 30 will be the opposite side. Then for the adjacent, we're going to have what? 3 cos 30. So then this side will give us 3 cos 30. So our D4 will be equal to 4 meters plus 3 cos 30. 4 meters plus 3 cos 30. Now we also have to consider the direction. The direction of the moment. We have the principle of transmissibility. Now this principle helps us to move forces. So I can move the forces by the principle of what? Transmissibility. So I can move the force this way. So assuming the force is acting on the body at this point, it will cause it to bend this direction, okay? Cause it to move this way. And that will be what? Positive. So we have 40 Newton times D4, and D4 will be 4 meters plus 2.6. So we have to complete this mathematically. Summation of moment about point O, this direction being positive, will be equal to 334 Newton meters. Moment of a force in 3 dimensions. Okay, so in 2 dimensions you can have moment is equal to what? Force times distance. But in the 3 dimension, you have moment is equal to what? R cross the F. R cross F, where F is what? A force vector, and R is the positional vector from the origin to cross the force F. Okay, so from the diagram you have what? The X, Y, and Z 3-dimensional coordinates, and you want to find the moment of a force in 3 dimensions. Now, moment is also what? A vector. So we have to have a bit of vector analysis. Vector analysis, especially cross product, because moment is equal to R cross F. The positional vector crossing the force vector. And you have to understand cross product, because R crossing F in vector algebra, that is the cross product. Now in the cross product rule, if we have the Cartesian system, the 3-dimensional system, X, Y, and Z. The unit vector for the X is I, Y is J, Z is K. Now I cross j will be k. Now, when it's opposite, okay, j cross r, you have negative k. Then j cross k, j cross k, j cross k will give us what? I. If you go opposite, k cross j, that will give you negative I. Then k cross I will give us what? J. When you have I cross k, you have what? Negative j. So you need to keep this cross product of the Cartesian unit vectors in mind. So I cross j is equal to k, j cross k is equal to I, k cross I is equal to j, I cross k is equal to negative j, j cross I is equal to negative k, k cross j is equal to negative I. Then I cross I is 0, j cross j is 0, k cross k is 0. Cross product of two vectors expressed as a Cartesian vector. So we have vector A, which is AXI plus AYJ plus AZK, and vector B, which is BXI plus BYJ plus BZK. Therefore, crossing them together, A cross B, note that A cross B is not the same as what? B cross A. So A cross B, we have AXI plus AYJ plus AZK cross into bracket BXI plus BYJ plus BZK, bracket close. In a Cartesian vector form, we have A cross B to be A y bz minus az by I minus into bracket ax bz minus az bx bracket close j plus az plus bracket open ax by minus ay bx k. Now cross product, if you want to find the cross product of two vectors, you can find the determinant of a 3x3 matrix. So we can use the method of finding the determinant of a 3x3 matrix to find the cross product of two vectors. So that is what we have here. This is a 3 by this is the determinant of a 3x3 matrix. So we have I, J, K, Ax, Ay, Az, and Bx, By, and Bz. That will help us. So we have the Cartesian vector formulation. Cartesian vector formulation. The force F and the distance I can be expressed in a Cartesian vector as Fxi plus Fyj plus Fzk, and for the positional vector we have Rxi plus Iyj plus Rzk. Therefore, the moment about point O, will be equal to R cross F. So the R comes first, so we have the determinant of a 3x3 matrix. So I, J, K, and we have Rx, Ry, Rz, Fx, Fy, Fz, where Rx, Ry, Rz are the x, y, z component of the positional vector. Fx, Fy, Fz are the x, y, z components of the force vector. So we have moment is equal to Ry Fz minus Rz Fyi minus into bracket Rx Fx minus Rz Fxj plus into bracket Rx Fy minus Ry Fx bracket close K. So this is the formula for finding the moment of a force. Example number 1. In the figure below, the force P is of magnitude 150 Newton and its direction is as shown. Express P as a vector in terms of the unit vectors I, J, and K, and determine its moment with respect to point E. We've been given the magnitude of force P as 150, so F mag has been given as 150 Newton. So we know the magnitude of the force. The question is asking us to express P as a vector. So we have to find the force vector. And the second part of the problem is that we have to determine its moment with respect to point E. The moment have to be with respect to a specific point. Okay, moment about a certain point. So you can be given different points on the same problem. Can be in this problem you can find moment at point D, moment at point E, you can find moment with respect to point C, okay, and it will give you different solution. So you take note on the point at which you are taking moment, and the point at which you are taking moment. So to find the force vector, remember we said that to find the force vector is what? The magnitude of the force times what? Unit vector. Remember, magnitude of the force times unit vector from the previous lesson. So we have the magnitude of the force to be 150 Newton. How do we find unit vector? And we said that unit vector is equal to position vector over what? The magnitude of position vector. So what will be our position vector? What will be our position vector? Position vector of the force. Now the force, we are moving from D. The force is moving from D to A. So how would you find the position vector? We travel along the Cartesian, okay? We travel along the Cartesian from D to A. So we first move from D to J. And D to J we are moving in the Z axis. In the Z axis. Now originally, the Z is moving upwards, okay? This is the direction of the Z axis, upward. But now we are coming down. We are coming downward, so our value will be negative. And the magnitude here, the unit here is 2. So we have negative 2K. Then we move from J to F. We move from J to F. We move from J to F. Now that means that we are moving along the X. We are moving along the X axis. And now the X axis, this direction is positive. So we are moving on the positive X axis. So we have, and the unit there is 5. So plus 5I. Then we move from F to A. F to A. Now, originally on the Cartesian, y-axis is positive, moving this way. Okay, y is moving in this direction, it's positive. This is the positive y-axis. But now we are moving this way from F to A. It means that we are going against the intended or the initial axis. So that will be what? Negative. So we have negative, and what's the unit? 3J. So rearranging this, we have 5 5i minus 3j minus 2k as the positional vector. What will be the magnitude of the position vector? So the magnitude of the position vector will be equal to 5 squared plus 3 squared plus 2 squared. 5 squared plus 3 squared plus 2 squared. That will give us 6.164. 6.164. So how do you find the force vector? So our force vector will give us 150. Our force vector will give us 150 multiplied by 5i minus 3j minus 2k all over 6.164. So in finding the force vector, we know that it's magnitude of the force times unit vector. We've been given the magnitude. We've gone through the process. We found the vector force. We've been able to find the magnitude of the force. So we proceed. So we have the force vector equal to, we have 150 times 5 over 6.164 I minus, into bracket, 150 times 3 over 6.164 J minus 150 into bracket 2 over 6.164 K. So when you solve this mathematically, you do the calculation, you have your force vector to be 121.65 I minus 73.05 J minus 48.6 K. So this gives us the force vector or the Cartesian vector. You can see that on the board. So moment about point E. How do we find the moment about point E? So how do we find the moment? Moment about point E. Moment about point E. We know that moment about point E is R, which is the position vector, cross, not times, cross F. Before we found F here. Now we need to find the R. So let's go back to the diagram, the example. Let's go back to the problem. Now, how would you find the position vector? Now, to find the position vector, you need to move from the origin crossing the force. The origin crossing the force. So the origin is at O. The origin is at O and you are crossing the force. So from the origin O, crossing the force. So now you are moving in the positive X axis. You are moving in the positive X direction, which is what? 5. So our positional vector is 5i. 5i cross the force, which is 121.65i minus 73.05j minus 48.6k. So our moment R cross F is equal to 5i cross 121.65i minus 73.05j minus 48.6k. Now how do we solve this? Vectorially. It's a vector problem. Okay, so let's do this. Now what is I cross I? I cross I is 0. I cross I is 0. So that means that the whole thing goes to 0. Then we focus on the next one. So 5i is multiplying, or 5i is crossing f. Okay, so we're going to cross this. 5i will cross this one, 5i will cross this one, 5i will cross this value. And we know that 5i cross 121.65i is 0, because I cross I is 0. So 5i cross minus 73.05j. So what is 5 times 73.05? That will give us 365.25. Negative 365.2525. Then I cross j. What is I cross j? I cross j will give us k. I cross j is k. So we have k. Then we have 5i cross 48.6. So what is 5 times 48.6? That will give us 243. So that will give us negative 243. Okay, negative 243. Then we go to the unit. I cross k. What is I cross k? I cross k is negative j. Negative j. So we have negative 243 times negative j. Note that I cross k is negative j. Okay? Because the initial cross product of the unit vector is k cross I, which will give you j. So when you go the opposite, you have what? Negative. So now we have
positive 243j
minus 365.25k. This will give us the moment at point E. Two forces act on the rod as shown. Determine the resultant moment created about the flange at O. Express the resultant as a Cartesian vector. So we have to express the resultant as a Cartesian vector. Now, how do we solve it? So how do you solve this problem? We know that the resultant moment sigma, we know that the resultant moment sigma MO, or we are taking moment about point O, is equal to M1 plus what? M2. M1 plus M2. But what is M1? M1 is R1 cross F1. And M2 is R2 cross F2. We know F1, we know F2. What we don't know is R1 and R2. How do we find for R1? Now, R1 is the positional vector from the origin of the force. R1 is the positional vector from the origin O crossing the force at F1. So the origin O, okay, so you stand at the origin O and you move in the Y to cross the force. So you cross the force at this point, you meet it at this point. So that will give you your positional vector R1, and your R1 is what?
5j.
We are using the SI unit, so all the units should be in meters and Newton. What is our R2? R2 is the positional vector from the origin O to cross the force at B. So we're going to move along the Cartesian to B. That will give us our positional vector R2. So from the origin O, crossing the force at point B. So I move from O to A, that is 5, and I'm moving in the positive y axis, that will be 5j. Now I'm here, so I move along the Cartesian coordinate. So I move from A to this point. That means that I move in the x, and I move positively in the x, and the unit there is 4. So I have plus 4i, plus 4i. Then I move from this point to B, from this point to B, in the z, and I'm coming downwards. But in the z direction, this is the positive direction, this is the negative direction. So then I have what? 2 minus 2k. So this will give me the positional vector for R2. When I'm done, what do I do next? The next thing is that I find M1 and I find M2. So how do you find for M1? M1 is equal to R1. I know that R1 is 5j. Then I cross it with F1. F1 is minus 60i plus 40j plus 20k. And you have to do the crossing. You have to cross that. Then M2, I have my R, which is 5j plus 4i minus 2k, cross 80i plus 40j minus 30k. Now when you go through the crossing process, you cross them. So for M1, let's go through the crossing. Let's cross them ourselves. So let's go through the process. Now before you do the crossing, you must establish the crossing of the unit vectors. So I'll do a quick one here: x, y, z, I, j, k. This is how you quickly do it. I cross j will give you k. Then you come here, j cross k will give me I. Then k cross I will give you j. Okay, so this is what I'm going to work with. So I have j cross I, but I have I cross j, which is k. So going the opposite will give me what? Negative k. So I have 5 times negative 60. That will give me negative 300 times negative k. That will give me positive 300k. Okay. Then we know that j cross j will give you 0. So you forget about that one. Then you focus on the next one. What is j cross k? What is j cross k? J cross k is I. And 5 times 20 will give you 100. 5 times 20 will give us what? 100. So we have positive 100i. So we are done with the M1. What about the M2? Now we can do this one individually. 5j will multiply the whole of this. 4I will cross the whole of this. Minus 2k will cross the whole of this. Is going to be cumbersome. So for M2, we have to use the determinant of a 3x3 matrix to find for the moment. So using the determinant of a 3x3 matrix, we have I, J, and K. This is positive, negative, positive. Then for the values of R, we have 4I, 5j, and minus 2k. Then for the force, we have 80, 40, and negative 30. Now using the determinant of a 3x3, we first have to cross this side, okay? So we cover this side and we have 5 minus 2, 40 minus 30. So M2 will be equal to 5 minus 2, 40 minus 30. I. Then we have minus into bracket. We draw a line this way. So we have 4 minus 2, 80 minus 30 J. Then we have plus. Okay, so we try and cover this side. So we have 4, 5, 80, 40. Okay. Then we find the determinant, the 2x2. So we have determinant of a 2x2 matrix. So we have M2 will be equal to 5 times negative 30. So we have 5 times negative 30 minus 2 times 40. I. Then we have minus already there. And we have 40 times minus 30 minus 2 times 80. Close it. And we'll bring J. There we have plus 4 times 40 minus 80 times 5. Close it and bring K. So our M2 will be equal to 5 times 30. We're going to have 1 negative 150. Negative 150 minus into bracket. We have negative 2 times 40. That will give us negative 80. Minus into bracket 4 times negative 30. That will give us negative 120. Minus into bracket negative 2 times 80. That will give us negative 160. J. Then we have plus 4 times 40. That will give us positive 160 minus 80 times 5, 400. 400 K. So we have 150 plus 80. That will give us minus 70 R. Then we have minus, what do we get here? 120. So this will be what? Plus 60. Plus 60 minus 120. That will give us what? 40. So we have minus 40J. Then we have 160 minus 400. What do we have? 160 minus 400. We have minus 240K. Minus 240K. So for M2, we have minus 70I, minus 40J, minus 240K. So how do we find the resultant moment? So the resultant moment, sigma MO will be equal to M1 plus M2. What is M1? M1, we have 100I plus 300K plus M2, we have minus 70I minus 40J minus 240K. So adding according to the directions, you add X together, you add according to Y, and you add according to the Z. So 100I plus minus 70I, we have 30I. Now in the Y, we only have one value, so we have minus 40J. Then 300K minus 240K, that will give us plus 60K Newton meter. So this will give us the resultant of the moment. So resultant of the moment at point O is equal to 30I minus 40J plus 60K Newton meter. Assignment: determine the resultant moment produced by the forces Fc and Fb about point O. Determine the resultant moment produced by the forces Fc and Fb about point O. Very simple. You go through the step, you find the resultant force. After finding the resultant force, you know that moment is equal to what? R cross F. So the resultant moment will be equal to what? M1 plus M2, and you'll be able to find the resultant moment. Moment of a couple. A couple is defined as two parallel forces that have the same magnitude but opposite direction and are separated by a perpendicular distance. So by a perpendicular distance D. So in the diagram you can see that you have two forces of equal magnitude but opposite in sense, and they are separated by this distance D. The resultant of two forces is zero in every direction because they are opposite in sense and equal in magnitude. When you find their resultant is equal to what? Zero. The only effect is to produce a tendency of rotation. So couple is to produce a tendency of rotation. Because the resultant force is equal to zero, it doesn't translate. It only rotates. A practical application of a couple is turning of a steering wheel of a car. Okay, so you can see the steering wheel of a car. So there's one force going upwards, this is coming downwards. So this force goes upwards and this comes downwards. When you are riding your bicycle, okay, it's a couple. One of the force moves upward, the other comes downwards. And the effect of the couple is to cause it to what? To rotate. So you're able to steer the car because of what? The couple you create. You're able to what? Steer your bicycle or motorbike with what? The principle of a couple. You have one hand here, another hand here, equal in magnitude, opposite in sense, and you are steering and controlling the bicycle or the car. Couple moment, scalar formation of couple moment. So couple moment M is equal to F multiplied by A plus D minus FA. So you are taking moment about point O. So you have FA plus FD minus FA. So moment is equal to force times distance. Okay? So the couple moment is the same as what? Force times perpendicular distance. Vector formation of couple moment. Couple moment is equal to, so from the diagram here, we know that RA cross F, RA cross F times RB cross negative F. We have RA minus RB times F, because the force is the same. But from the diagram, RA minus RB is equal to R. Therefore, couple moment is equal to R cross F. Couple moment is equal to R cross F.